lot of different personnel, different coach. Does it seem like you're looking at a totally different team when you look at it on film?
You know, yeah. I mean, but somewhat of the same same results, just a different way. I mean, you start with their defense. They're I don't know. To me, on tape, they look faster on tape defensively. You know, a lot more zone pressures, and you know, a lot of pressures. Period. Where last year they were not a big blitz team. So very impressed with them on defense. Play hard. Matter of fact, their defense coordinator, Kane Womack, was a young graduate assistant here for us. So good to see him doing well there, as well as Coach Dameron being a defensive guy. So good schemes, kids playing hard offensively. You know, got some experienced coaches on that offensive staff. Quarterback that's dynamic, makes a ton of plays. A running back that you know, all-conference running back, little over the last couple of years, outstanding wideout. You know, very difficult to defend, and so you know, Jacksonville State did a nice job this week, but still 27-20 game on the road. You know, that shows you what kind of quality team they've got to be able to go to Jacksonville State and fight them tooth and nail, and just came up a little short. So tough game for us this week. We're on the road, but you know, heck, we're coming off a break, you know, which is a little bit odd, you know, this last game of the year like this, but we had good practices last week. I expect the same thing this week. We're excited. We treat it like a playoff game for us because it's our last game, and you know, if you lose, you put the pads up, and if you win, you put the pads up. But boy, it sure does give you a nice feeling to go into that spring practice, you know, coming off of you know, getting to 5-3 in the conference, and that's important to us.
Can you talk a little bit about Willow, just sort of specifically what you've seen from him? He gets a lot of press, it seems like, really all season, but
you know, he deserves. I mean, it's just he throws the ball well enough to where, you know, I mean, I say well enough. I mean, the guy can throw the football. I think he does a nice job. And then you load the box, give a play on the perimeter. You don't put enough in the box or equal out of one back, then they can, you know, always outnumber you. So it's very difficult to defend. It really is. But he's a physical runner. I mean, the guy started games in the SEC. You know, most of the transfers that a lot of us get are guys that were not patient enough to finally start, or you know, just maybe didn't have the size, just whatever reason, didn't ever get a lot of playing time. You know, he just he started games in the SEC, and so he's been there, done that, and you know, he's certainly these last part of the seasons. Well, once they cut the turnovers out from the beginning of the year, you know, you take away, just like us, take away turnover here or there, then they're, you know, there may be, you know, they're 7-4 or 8-3 at this point with one game to go in the season. So, you know, good team to play, tough on the road.
With what happened against Eastern Illinois here last year, do you want that to be a motivating factor to some degree?
You know, I don't know how much we've thought about it because it was such a Garoppolo team, you know, and we beat him the year before, and I guess the year before we beat them 3 years in a row actually. But yeah, they embarrassed us really bad, and you know, went deep into the playoffs, and outstanding football team. A lot of those players are back, just, you know, different guy underneath center, and you know, who's still going to be an all-conference pick. Just, you know, the guy last year was a second-round NFL pick. So you know, I hadn't even thought of it like that since it's a new coaching change. But you know, certainly, you know, we didn't even go back and look at last year's tape because the schemes are all different. But there is some of the same players.
The running game has really been doing well the last few games with Abu and offensive line playing well.
Right.
How do you see it shaping up against Eastern?
Yeah, I mean, no secret. We want to try to be balanced as we can, establish and run, and do some things off of that. But it's a fine line because you know, they're a dynamic offense, and they can score, you know, 35 points on you in a hurry. And so, you know, to think that you're going to make it a 15-14 game is probably unrealistic with the weapons they have on offense. I mean, my goodness, you look in the conference, I think they're rushing for 300-something yards a game up until the Jacksonville State game. They're scoring almost 50 points a game in conference up until this last game. So, you know, to say that you're going to be able to just grind it out would be unrealistic. You're going to have to score some points and force them to score as well.
So he's really close to 1,000 yards. I know it's sort of secondary to winning, but how much value do you put in just getting some guys some individual milestones if they can reach?
Yeah, I mean, I think he deserves that. I hope he gets to it. It'd be great if he got it on, you know, the first couple of carries. It'd be great. It means we're moving the football. But you know, it's something, whether you play 12 games, 11 games, or 10 games, you know, once you kind of hit that 1,000-yard mark, it's kind of like throwing for 2,000 or 2,500. You know, it's just something to put in there that when you recruit, you go, hey, we have a 1,000-yard rusher, and you know, we want to recruit you to replace that guy, or you know, be something Abu will have with him. Hopefully, he gets an opportunity at the next level. So no, I think our offensive line would you know, that's something to be proud of as well.
How many guys on this team do you think have a serious opportunity at the next level?
There's a handful. I mean, there's a lot of guys on that borderline, but there's some guys that've got the size, you know, from Abu and Charles Sweet and Tony Bell. You know, those are the you know, the main three that have gotten some looks. So you know, I wish them well after the season and hope you know, that we continue our streak of having 6 in the last 2 years. I'd like to see a couple more guys get some opportunities.
Just speaking in general, how's the I guess the recruiting process been?
You know, good. I think for us, just I mean, for us, and I imagine most OVC schools, it's still early. It's still real early until after Thanksgiving. Then you're kind of in those schools, and things starting to shake out of the reality of you know, of where everybody's, you know, kind of going, whether it's FBS, FCS, and things like that. So you're looking at a whole, you know, good 6 weeks once that December hits. Everything's sorting out of, I guess it's 2 weeks in December, and then 3.5 or so in January, then that first week of February.
Anything else? Anything like, I guess, defining your priorities as far as position or anything?
Offensive line.
Yeah. Offensive
line, certainly losing 6 guys. You know, hopefully we have an opportunity to address that need with that early signing period in December as far as a couple of transfers of junior college guys. But we'd like to bring in here 2 offensive linemen at that time. You know, a running back, possible wide receiver. You know, we've certainly got some needs, but we'd like to bring in here 5 to 6 guys at the break.
Has there been many players in this area of West Tennessee showing any interest?
Yeah, certainly, and this has a chance to be a solid year in West Tennessee for high school prospects, and so you know, we're certainly excited about that. But you know, there's certainly a handful of guys, 5 or 6 guys, we certainly like to keep here at home, and that'll be #1 priority come December.
The way the OVC went was a little bit different than last year. You know, last year you had 3 teams make the playoffs. Looks like, you know, 2 are going to be competing for it, or in that. Do you see a real change in the way the OVC went, or do you see it still kind of on its same trajectory? How do you assess that?
You know, I don't know if I really thought about it, but no, I think definitely, you know, definitely 2. Jacksonville State and EKU, and they had an outstanding non-conference schedule. You know, I guess, you know, the difference of us and EIU is neither one of us won our non-conference games. You know, maybe if we were somehow at 6-2 and then you beat Central Arkansas, and now you're 8-4 overall, you're probably watching, you know, you're watching selection show on Sunday. You know, same way with East Illinois. You know, if they get the SIU game, the Illinois State game, and you know, add 2 more wins, get to 8-4, 6-2 in the conference, then they're probably doing the same thing as well. And I would imagine with their reputation being in there 2 years in a row, they would probably got in. So you know, I think that's what happened. Where last year or the year before, we won our non-conference game. This year we came up short.